All right guys, Ryan at BNR Motorsports here. We're going to do an updated ride height video on stock revalves on stock A-arms. So we have our standard ride height video. It's a good narrative to hit where you need to be roughly. Now that's with full aftermarket suspension. You know, that's $5,000 worth of suspension. Now on our revalves, like on our more budget setup, on the YFZ450R specifically, we're going to run a little bit higher ride height. The reason why that is because of this A-arm. This A-arm is not, the shock mounts aren't right on this A-arm. So you kind of got to work it a little bit, and you don't want to sacrifice too much of the rideability. So, and then also to really get into this shock for the stock A-arm and start cutting bodies and things like that, then you're never going to be able to use this shock for any other application. If you put Hauser standard travel arms, which like we sell, or another standard travel arm, Texera or something like that, it's going to fix these shock mounts. It's going to fix these ride height numbers, and you're not going to have to worry about it. Keep in mind they're completely different between the stock arm and an aftermarket arm because of the shock mount. So the bike's going to be a little bit higher. When it's brand new, while everything's settling in, you're probably going to be around 8 inches, maybe 8 1/8 in the front. Once everything settles, you should be around like 7 7/8 in the front, 8 inches. And in the rear, you're going to be about 7 1/2, 7 5/8. That's with our linkage. You got to put a linkage on. If not, you're not going to get the right, you're not going to get the rear end right. So, like I said, a little bit higher on the ride height than what you're going to run like a full aftermarket setup. Dual rate, I mean, you still got your crossover, you still got your dual rate. Your shocks are going to work way, way better than the stock ones. Way better. But, like I said, you are going to be a little bit higher than what you are with full aftermarket. So we're going to bring you in here and show you how to do a quick ride height. Now this bike's kind of taken apart because we're working on building it, but you'll get the same basis here. So you want to have the rider get on the ATV, and then you're going to have them turn the bars back and forth. And then as they do that, you're going to put your knee in the front and just kind of settle out the suspension. So once you do that, rider's standing on the pegs. You're going to take a measurement right here, and then you're going to go ahead and move forward right underneath the radiator, which is about 18 inches, and then you're going to take that measurement. So with a 170-pound rider on this bike is 7 5/8 and 8 inches. So like I said, don't worry, it's a little bit taller than what we say on our aftermarket video. That's going to work really well for you. And then if you ever change the A-arm, you know, you'll be able to get that lower. You keep in mind, you will have to have the front shocks redone if you do change the A-arm, because everything's totally different with the shock mount. So hopefully that helps you with a little bit of the ride height on these shocks, you know, and get you dialed in with a better budget-friendly setup.